What's going on, guys? It's me, Heisennburgg, and in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to download and install SpringTime ENB by DiabloXX22. And this was quite a highly requested ENB from you guys, so I thought I would show you guys how to install this one. And by the way, this is my first time using my new microphone. I just got a Blue Yeti microphone with a pop filter and stuff like that, so it's going to be a little bit to where I find the correct settings for me and all the correct editing tweaks and stuff like that. So I apologize if the audio is either too loud or too low. So I'm going to try and figure that out as soon as possible. But so I'm going to show you guys how to install this ENB, and there'll be a link for it in the description if you're not already here. And before we actually get started with installing the ENB, there are some things that you should know, and one of those things being that this ENB is not compatible with Climates of Tamriel, ELFX, Realistic Lighting Overhaul, or any weather or lighting mods like that. The author says that it's meant to be used with the vanilla game because this ENB comes with an ESP that has its custom lighting and weathers and stuff like that. So make sure you disable all of that stuff. And if you are interested in the mods that the author is using, at the bottom of the page he has all these listed mods down here that you're able to use if you wanted to get your screenshots to look just like the author's. So that's really all about it as far as like the compatibility and stuff goes. So I guess we can get into actually installing the ENB now. So the very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to scroll down, and where it says download the d3d9.dll file here, we're going to copy this link right here, and then we're going to open link a new tab, and then we're just going to do paste and go. And it uses the 236 binary, which is this one right here, so we're going to go ahead and click on that. And we can just go ahead and click this download arrow at the top of the page, and it's going to start downloading as an archive file, so you're going to need either WinRAR or 7-zip to install an ENB correctly. And if you don't already have a program like this, there'll be links for WinRAR and 7-zip in the description. You're more than welcome to download them. So once you get a pop-up like this, you can go ahead and hit backspace and drag and drop the archive on your desktop. And we can just leave that be for right now. We'll come back to it later. We can come back to our internet browser, and we can pretty much close out of ENB dev because we're done with it. And then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to scroll up to the top of the page and click the Files tab. And under Main Files, we're going to manually download the SpringTime ENB files. And again, it's going to start downloading as an archive. And you can download that grass if you want. It's only available on Steam, but the author uploaded it on here, so that was cool of him. And you're also more than welcome to download the water update. But once the ENB files have finished installing, it's going to give you a pop-up just like it did with the ENB binary files, so you can hit backspace and just drag and drop it onto your desktop. And then going back to the internet browser, we can go ahead and click the description button again on the SpringTime page. And step 3, we're going to be downloading ENB Helper. So where it says ENB Helper highlighted in blue, we're going to right click that and open link a new tab. And it's going to take us to a devc.com page. We're just going to click the download button under the download section. And it's going to start downloading, and it doesn't take very long to finish installing at all. So we're going to drag this onto our desktop as well. And then if we go back to our internet browser, we can close out of this. And then step 4, we're going to go ahead and download the MindFlux particle patch. So we're going to right click that, open link a new tab. And we're just going to download the particle patch all in one, which is the first option. We can just click on that, and it's going to start downloading. Depending on your internet connection or how fast your computer is, this may take a while for you to download, but it usually doesn't, so no worries there. Forgot to get my mod managers opened up for you guys. So, interesting. So, once you get a pop-up like this, just hit backspace, drag and drop it onto your desktop. That I had to fix that error message I was getting with Nexus Mod Manager. But, we're going to go ahead and install the Skyrim particle patch real quick. So I'll show you how to do it for Nexus Mod Manager users and Mod Organizer users. So if you're a Nexus Mod Manager user, you're going to make sure that you click the Mods tab right here in your browser. And then you're going to click this puzzle piece that says Add Mod from File. And you're going to want to make sure that you click Desktop. And then from there, you're just going to click on Skyrim Particle Patch for ENB. And it's going to install it as if you downloaded it with Manager off of Nexus. So once you've done that, just go ahead and activate it. If you use Mod Organizer, you're going to click the button in the top left-hand corner, which is a box with the CD in front of it. And it's literally the same exact process as the Nexus Mod Manager. Just click Desktop, Skyrim Particle Patch for ENB all in one. And you're going to get this message, this red message that says no game data on top level. To get rid of that, you're just going to right-click the data folder and click Set Data Directory, and you'll be good to go. Then you can click OK. I already had this installed, so that's why I'm just going to leave it unchecked. So once you've installed the particle patch, you can go ahead and delete the archive for it because we're done with it. And what we're going to do now is we're going to extract all three of these archives right here into folders. It's going to make our life a whole lot easier when the time comes. So we're going to right-click on this ENB binary archive, and if you use WinRAR, you're going to click this third option right here, and if you use 7-zip, you can bring down your menu, and you're going to click this fourth option. And like I said, it's going to turn it into a folder, which is what we want. So then we're going to go ahead and do the same thing for the other two archives. So right-click, WinRAR users click the third option, 7-zip users click the fourth option. Alright guys, so once we've extracted all three of these archives into folders, we can go ahead and delete all three of the archives. And what we're going to be doing now is we're going to locate our Skyrim folder. And if you use Nexus Mod Manager, there's going to be a folder with an arrow coming out of it. If you click on that, you'll get a drop-down menu. Just click Open Game Folder, and it'll take you right to it. If you use Mod Organizer, there's unfortunately not a button that I'm currently aware of that'll just take you right to it. But if you look down here in this little filter section, it'll tell you the letter drive it's on, and then Programs, Steam, Steam Apps, Common, Skyrim. So it's going to be wherever you have Steam installed. But either way, whenever you get there, you'll know you're in the correct place when you see Skyrim Launcher and TESV. If you don't see the .exe at the end of your file extensions like you do on mine, don't worry about it. If yours don't, it's the same thing either way. So once you have your Skyrim folder all opened up and stuff, we're gonna open up the 236 binary folder, and you're gonna see an Injector version, and you're gonna see a wrapper version. In my installation tutorials, I go over the wrapper version because that's the most common. If for some reason when you go to launch your game and the wrapper version's giving you issues, like it says ENBHost.exe not responding, or if the ENB just won't let you load your game at all, it's probably because you have to use the Injector version. And I'm going to have an annotation and a link in the description that you can click on right about now that'll take you to a really good Injector version tutorial. So for now, just go ahead and open up the wrapper version. And we're only going to need two files out of here, which is the d3d9.dll file and the ENBHost.exe file. And we can just go ahead and copy those and paste those into our Skyrim folder. And once you've done that, you can pretty much just close out of this because we're done with it. And then we can go ahead and open up the SpringTime ENB folder. And we're going to open up the SpringTime ENB by Diablo XX22. And you're going to see a data folder, an ENB series folder, and a whole bunch of files. Well, I'm going to have you highlight everything in here except for the data folder, so make sure the data folder is unhighlighted. And we're going to copy all these files and paste them into our Skyrim folder. And once you've done that, we're going to go back to the SpringTime folder and the data folder that I told you to unhighlight. I'm going to have you right-click on that. And if you use WinRAR, you can go ahead and click Add to Archive right here. And if you use 7-zip, bring up your menu and you can click Add to Archive as well. And you're going to get a menu that looks something like this. And you can pretty much name it anything you want, but obviously name it something pertaining to the ENB's data files. So I'm just going to name mine SpringTime ENB Data and hit Enter. And it's going to make it into an archive for you. And once you've done that, you can pretty much just drag and drop it onto your desktop. And it's pretty much the same process as the particle patch installation. If you use Nexus Mod Manager, click the Add Mod from File puzzle piece. click desktop, and then click SpringTime ENB data, and it's going to add it in here. Make sure you activate it once you've done that. Mod organizer users, click the button in the top left, click on desktop, and then click SpringTime ENB data. Make sure you make sure the name is correct, because mod organizer likes to shorten the names of things. And then go ahead and click on manual, and then right click on the data folder and click set data directory, and then click OK. And once you've done that, go ahead and check mark it, and then we can go ahead and minimize your mod manager, and we can delete this SpringTime ENB data archive. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to open up the ENB helper file, or folder, and we're only going to be copying one file out of here, which is the enbhelper.dll, so we can just copy that. And then back over in our Skyrim folder, we're going to open up the ENB series folder, which was included in the SpringTime ENB files, and then we're just going to paste the ENB helper in here, and then replace. And yeah, so that the ENB itself is pretty much installed now. We just have to tweak a couple of INI files. So if we go back to the SpringTime ENB page, if we get down to step 6 right here, I'll show both Nexus Mod Manager users and Mod Organizer users how to edit your INI settings. So if you use Nexus Mod Manager, you can bring up your Skyrim folder again and click on My Documents, My Games, and then Skyrim, and then you should see a Skyrim.ini file and a Skyrim prefs.ini file. We're going to be focusing on the Skyrim prefs, and I highly recommend that you install a program called Notepad++. It's 100% free, and it makes your life a whole lot easier, and there'll be a link for it in the description if you're interested. But if not, just go ahead and click Edit, and you'll be good to go. If you use Mod Organizer, you're going to click on this 4 puzzle piece button right here, and you're going to get a drop-down menu. Make sure you click Any Editor, and then you'll see 2 tabs at the top. Just click the Skyrim Prefs tab, and you're in the correct place. Now, I'm going to show you guys a really fast and easy way to edit your INI settings. So if we go back to our internet browser, and where it says I multi-sample equals 0, you're going to double click on the word, and it's going to highlight it for you automatically. From there, you can do Control-C, and that's going to copy it for you. Nexus Mod Manager users, go to your Notepad and do Control-F to bring up a find menu, and then Control-V to paste it. And you can either hit Find Next or hit Enter, and it's going to find the setting automatically for you. If it's at 1, make sure you set it to 0, because this disables the anti-aliasing. Now, if you use Mod Organizer like myself, before you do the Control-F command, you're going to want to click in the box first to select it. And as you can see, once I did that, it highlighted in blue around it, so that's how I know that the INI settings are selected. And then I can do Control-F, Control-V, Find Next. So it's set to 0 already. Now, I'm probably going to speed this part up, because I'm sure this part is pretty self-explanatory. But if in Nexus Mod Manager, like let's just say you do Control-F and you type in a setting and it says cannot find, you would just add the setting automatically. So I'm going to go ahead and continue editing my settings, and I'll speed this part up. Alright, so Mod Organizer users, once you've edited your INI settings, go ahead and click the Save button down here, and then you can close out. Nexus Mod Manager users, if you had to edit anything, go up to File and Save, or Control-S, and then you can close out. Now, what we're going to do from here is we're going to go back to our Skyrim folder again. So, it's where we copied all the ENB files to. And if we scroll down a little bit, we're going to see a file called ENBLOCAL, and it may or may not have the .ini at the end of it. If it doesn't, don't worry about that. It's the same thing. We're going to go ahead and edit that. And under this little memory section right here, we're going to be focusing on 3 different settings, and I'll kind of explain what each of the settings do. We're going to be focusing on reserved memory size MB, video memory size MB, and auto detect video memory size. Now, reserved memory size MB, I don't really know how to explain it in the technical terms, but just know that it has something to do with obviously reserving your RAM. Now, I have a diagram down in my description that'll give you the correct configurations for this setting, but I'll pretty much explain it as quickly as possible. 128 is the lowest number you can use, and 1024 is the highest number you can use, and this number is to be either increased or decreased in intervals of 128. So it would go 128, 256, 512, and so on and so forth. If you have 3 gigabytes of VRAM or more, not regular RAM, VRAM like in your video card, 512 is a pretty good baseline to start at. But if you have less than 3 gigabytes of VRAM, 256 is a pretty good baseline to start at. And the only reason why you would need to mess with this number is if you experience a lot of stuttering or lag. And it's not even 100% that this setting would fix it, but just a heads up. And reserved memory size MB is how much VRAM you have in megabytes. So again, I have a diagram for this setting down in the description as well. And I have 1 through 4 gigabytes down in the description. But I just upgraded to a 980 Ti last week, so I used to have a GTX 780 which only had 3 gigabytes of VRAM, but now I have 6. So 6144 would be the correct configuration for a 980 Ti. 1024 is 1 gigabyte, and 2048 is 2, 3072 is 3, and 4096 is 4. And obviously 6144 is 6. Now, auto detect video memory size. This setting is pretty much a godsend for people that don't know how much VRAM they have in megabytes, because you could honestly just set this to false. I mean, you could leave it at true. Sorry, I just had a blonde moment. So set this to true, and then you could put this to 0, and the ENB host will automatically detect how much video memory you have in megabytes for you. So technically you don't even have to worry about it if you leave this setting to true. But if you're one of those people like myself that likes to set everything manually, like if you just want to have everything configured correctly, you could just set this to false and put this at the correct number for your system. So once you've edited these 3 settings, you can go ahead and go up to File and Save, or Control S and close out. And we're going to go back to our Skyrim folder again, and we're going to be opening up the Skyrim launcher. So go ahead and double click on that. Alright guys, so once your Skyrim launcher has came up, you can go ahead and click on Options, if it ever wants to load. And then from here, you're going to want to make sure your anti-aliasing is set to off, your anisotropic filtering is set to off, and then if we come to this details section right here and click the advanced button, you're going to want to make sure your FXAA is disabled. And once it is, you can go ahead and click close, click OK, and then click exit. And we can close out of our Skyrim folder because the ENB is pretty much installed now. And before you run your game, I would highly advise that you run loot first, because this ENB does add plugins. So actually, before we run loot real quick, it doesn't matter which mod manager you use. Go to your plugins section, and I'm using Mod Organizer. You're going to make sure that opeth_torch.esp and opeth_weather.esp is checkmarked, because those are both of the ENB's data files that we downloaded earlier. So make sure both of those are checkmarked, and then go ahead and run loot. And if you know what loot is, or if you don't have loot, there's a link in the description for it. So make sure you have it, because if you don't have it, your load order will more than likely be all messed up. So I'm going to go ahead and run my game now, so I'll go ahead and continue the video once I load up my game. So I'll see you guys in just a minute. Alright guys, so once you've loaded up your game, you should get this pop-up message in your top left-hand corner. That pretty much tells you that you installed the ENB files correctly. If you don't get that message, you did something wrong, so make sure you go back and double check that you've done my steps exactly as I've done them if you did not get that message. And then you'll get this yellow message telling you if you press Shift and Enter, it'll bring up an editor menu by default, but those are not the correct keys for this ENB, and I'll put like a little text note on the screen that'll tell you the correct buttons to use to bring up the menu. But that menu pretty much lets you tweak the ENB however you want. But yeah, it's kind of hard to explain it without having it in front of me. So, like I said, I'll put a text annotation on screen for the correct configuration for that. And then real quick, before we load up our game, if you press the star key on your number pad, once the ENB loads up, it'll bring up a little FPS counter in your top left-hand corner, which is a cool little feature for people that don't have fraps or anything like that. So, I'm going to go ahead and load up my game, and, I'll go ahead and skip that part so you guys don't have to sit through it. But, yeah guys, I'll see you guys in just a minute. Alright guys, so once you have your game loaded up, you should be able to immediately tell that the ENB is working, because this ENB is quite vibrant, as you can tell. Let me put on clear weather real quick, because this ENB looks kind of funky. Alright, so this is what the ENB looks like. I think it looks actually really good. You guys should check out the author's YouTube channel, because it's really, really cool. But anyways, guys, once you load up your game, if you want to toggle the ENB on and off, like just for performance reasons, you could do Shift and F12 and it'll turn the ENB completely off. Like if you wanted to do it for performance reasons, or like I said, just to compare. And then Shift F12 to turn it back on. And yeah, guys, on my 980 Ti while recording with fraps, I'm currently getting 50 frames per second with this ENB, so I don't know if that would mean anything to you, but because the 980 Ti is kind of it is an absolute powerhouse, so I don't really know what good that would do for anyone else, especially if they didn't have a very good card. But anyways, guys, I hope this was easy enough to understand. Like I was saying in my last video, I'm gonna try and start doing 3+ videos a week, just to keep you guys satisfied with my content and stuff like that. For those of you that haven't seen my 1,000 subscribers video yet, you should definitely check that out. I just released it yesterday. It's pretty much just a tour of my computer setup and upgrades that I just did to my computer and stuff like that. That was the part 1 video of my 1,000 subscribers video. I'm going to be releasing a part 2, which is pretty much going to be a top 10 ENB countdown of my personal favorite ENBs, which a lot of people have been waiting for a really long time. So I'm going to do that as like a part 2 kind of thing, because I've been teasing it for a really long time. But yeah guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you aren't subscribed already, you should go ahead and definitely get subscribed for more Skyrim modding content and ENB installations and stuff like that. So this has been Heisennburgg, and I'll see you guys in the next video.